We usually do videos on the date of the Hilula, the yard site of the great Rabbi, but I want to speak about Rabbi Yosef Hamadani Cohen. Zecher Tzadik Libracha was the chief rabbi of Iran between the years 1993 to 2007. 14 years he'll be the chief rabbi over there. I don't know if we covered a video on him on the date of his Hilula. He passed away on the 27th of Adar Bet. It was, I believe, in the year 2014. We're talking about 11 years ago. He passed away, to be precise. It was on the 29th of March of that year, respectively. Now, he was born in the year 1922. So he lived quite a long life. He lived about 92 years. He was a very great rabbi. He was actually born in an area in Iran called Yazd, and he passed away, I believe, in Tehran, in Iran, respectively. So he spent the bulk of the life in Iran, respectively. So was very much Iranian bred through and through in of itself. We mentioned that he would be 14 years the chief rabbi over there. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Okay, so it's actually interesting. He was born in area of in February 1922. And came from a religious family in Iran, in Yazd, respectively. It was very, very interesting. I think his father, Rabbi Hamadani Cohen, would learn and teach Torah over there, and would give over different, let's just say, Torah law decisions he would make in of itself. He was a religious man in of itself. His grandfather also, I think Hajj Hillel, if I'm not mistaken, was also a religious rabbi over there, and was very well known in the area vicinity of Yazd, respectively. He would learn Torah, Yosef Hamadani Cohen, through the auspices of his father and his grandfather, and would learn, I believe, in the yeshiva of Mullah David. Remember, a lot of the great rabbis of Iran had the title Mullah, like we mentioned about before, Rav Mullah or Shraga, and many of the other great rabbis. And he was an outstanding student over there. Now, it's reported over that when he was 18 years of age, he would actually then go on to move to Shiraz over there, and he would continue his Torah studies over there, and would receive a rabbinic ordination shortly afterwards. He would receive a rabbinic ordination and become a shochet. A shochet is a rabbi that will perform, let's say, kosher slaughter. Become a shochet, kashrut is very important, especially in Iran. There was many great rabbis over there that would deal with this, would train within regards to this, and would shecht animals, slaughter animals in order for there to be kosher meat, so on and so forth. He would go on and continue to learn in Yazd after he was in Shiraz, and would, let's just say, he would concentrate within regards to education, instructing field, and become a rabbi at that point in time. And I think come with the year 1946 it was, he would get married to his wife, I think from the family of Mishpachat Rehanian it was, he would get married to, and it's reported over that they would have 3 boys and 3 girls over there. They would have. Then come with the year 1977, the family would actually move to Tehran. So remember, they've actually been from, he's been from Yazd to Shiraz, and then eventually he would go to Tehran, and I think he would actually go on to live in an area called the area in of itself was called Pol Chovi. I think this was in Iran, respectively. And then, okay, so that's interesting. So he would have 6 children over there. He would continue to work within regards to the field of the rabbinate for many years over there. He would become the rabbi of a synagogue over there, the Beit Knesset, Ba'aj Saba, I hope I pronounce it correctly. And while at the same time being a rabbi of a community over there, he would also continue working as a shochet over there, rabbi performing kosher slaughter. Then come with the year 1993. I think it was the chief rabbi of the time, Rabbi Huda, the chief Jewish rabbi of Iran. His name was Rabbi Uriel Davidi, would leave Iran at that stage in time. The position actually came available to become the chief rabbi of Iran, and Rabbi Yosef Hamadani would be appointed to, let's just say, this premiership position over there, very prominent position over there. And he would actually continue and work as head of Jewish court, respectively, which was also a very prestigious position. Remember that Ab Din, the head of Jewish court, obviously brought about a lot of responsibilities, and Ab Din, so on top of being chief rabbi, head of Jewish court, this brought huge responsibility and huge prestige at the same time, and he was very much deserving of this, let's say, various different accolades. And so 1993, so the position started around the year 1993. He'd also become part of the Moatzot Harabanim and the Rosh Moatzot Liyishub Sochim over there. I think come August 2000, Hamadani Cohen would, I think, meet the president of Iran. His name was, I think, Mahmoud Khatami, if I'm not mistaken. And then I think in the year 2003, once again, he's going to meet another one. I think Neymar Khatami inside the Beit Knesset of Sukkot Shalom, if I'm not mistaken, in the, let's say, the neighborhood of Yosef, Abad, Tehran, respectively, over there. And I think he would had like a good relationship, let's just say, or relatively good, as good as it could be, with the president of Iran. He would report it over, I think, even visit the congregation over there. It's reported over. So he would take on all these different positions. Now it's reported that he passed away on the 27th of Adar Bet, Tafshin Eindal, that's 29th of March, in the year 2014. He suffered, I think, from a long illness. And he passed away. He was eventually, I think, 92 years of age at the time the great rabbi had passed away. And he was buried, I think, on the 29th of Adar Bet, Tafshin Eindal. That would have been 2 days afterwards. In, I think the name of the cemetery is called Bahashtiyah, if I'm not mistaken, in Tehran, this was. And there was various different hespedim, I think, at that point in time. In the Beit Knesset of Baj Saba, I think. And yeah, so he was a very, very great rabbi of his time. So this was in 2014. I think he would leave his position as a chief rabbi of Iran before he passed away. It would have been, I'll have to double check the dates within regards to that. Yeah, I think he would be the chief rabbi between the years 1990, around 1993 to 2007, it would be. So that was a very, very big position in of itself. It was very inspirational, let's just say, religious leader over there. And his job would actually start in January 1994, so pretty much there. And if he passed away in 2014, I'm not sure, it could have been he would continue his activities to some specific degree until that point in time. I'm not too sure if he had the official title till he passed away or not. Now, he was, especially this visit, I think it took place in February 2003, he would host President Mohammad Khatami in his Tehran Yosef Abad synagogue, the name was called over here. This actually marked the first visit, let's just say, of a president to a Jewish center since the 1979 revolution. So that would have been nearly a generation, 25 years. So that also, that famous encounter with Khatami, which had been later on, that was along with other Jewish leaders who actually come over there. And it's reported over he would have actually met also the president, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. It's reported over. So you could see not the friendliest of people to the Jewish community, you could say, testimony to Israel, but he had ties, important ties with them also at the same time. It seemingly, the Iranian people as a whole showed him respect in general. They seemed to take a liking to him. It was reported over, he didn't necessarily suffer any fierce, let's say, anti-Semitism. And I think at the time after he passed away, his nephew, the Rav's nephew, would actually correspond with a Jewish Haredi ultra-Orthodox publication of Kikar Shabbat and give up information with regards to what his relationships were like with the people living over there. And I think actually his nephew itself was also someone prominent, actually shares the title with him. Now, I think his illness before he passed away lasted a few years and he did suffer, but he would stay in his house the last, let's say, long window or period, and passed away eventually in March 2014. Now, as of 2014, I think there was still, according to the census in 2012, there was as many as 9,000 Jewish people still living there, if I'm not mistaken. But by not previously, in I think 1948, there was as many as 150,000 Jews living in Iran, and 70,000 immigrated to Israel, I think, the 30 years after 1948. Reported over 80,000 remained at the time of the 1979 Islamic Revolution. The number obviously dwindled afterwards, surely, and at a steady rate. I think 20,000 left within months of the rise of Islamic Republic in the wake of revolution over there. But his Hilula was, I believe, on the 27th of Adar, and I don't know if I covered the video on the great Iranian rabbi. We've tried to already cover many of the great rabbis of Iran, of history. We did a video on Rav Davidi. I think we did a video on Rav Yedid Shofet and other great rabbis from Iran, respectively. So I recommend everyone to watch over those those previous videos that we did. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about the great rabbis of yesteryear. And please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. If you feel anyone's interested in watching any of these videos, please share the videos to other people also. And tell other people to subscribe also. And if you descend from any of the great Chachamim we are speaking about, please let me know. I would love to hear more information. I'm recording this here from the city of Bet Shemesh. This in central Israel over here. And well, it's perfect weather to relate over all this information. And wishing you all blessings, and take care. And please write a comment. Let me know who you are, which videos, any rabbis you descend from that you would feel that you want me to cover inside this series over here. If I haven't related over any of the rabbis, you know, we've already covered nearly 1,000 videos already on this series of the rabbis from yesterday, all from the Spanish countries pretty much, and from the Middle East and North African countries over here. That's what we're trying to specialize over here. So wishing you well, and take care.